Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum to keep up to date with the community debate. And if you'd like to join the panel right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, immediately a shout out to Colin Turner for hitting the super chat, thank you very much indeed. We are joined by Slick James Johnson, Paul, Eben and Chocolate Sayin. Good to have you all.
Good morning.
Nice to be here.
Good morning. Enthusiastic start.
I'm kind of waiting for you to go off with the morning. I'm waiting for you to go off with this morning's edification.
Okay. I mean, we were talking about obviously Logan Paul's documentary before the show started. Is that something you want to get straight into? I can dispense with housekeeping if you'd like.
Yeah, that could be fine. Yeah, we could get into that because I want to be the first to go on record to say that that was an absolute genius piece. Now, that's just my take. I don't expect anybody else to agree with me, but I thought that was absolutely awesome.
Oh, you liked it? Okay. Well, tell us why.
Oh, because this is what I got out of it. What Logan Paul did was he put flat Earth on a map, but didn't put himself on a chopping block at the same time. Because you know what happens to people when they try to be pro-flat Earth, they just get demolished. But he made it in such a way that he could put flat Earth out there and not have his own neck chopped off at the same time. That's what I got anyway.
Okay, so a bit similar to PewDiePie about a year ago when he did a similar thing. He kind of introduced it with an element of ridicule, but ultimately didn't put any really cracking debunkings or great flat Earth facts out either. So it was kind of neutral, but ultimately mocking, but at the same time exposing it to quite a substantial number of people. So I think I'd probably agree with you overall. Just the fact that it's being exposed to more people when it's, you know, not particularly detrimental. It might be amusing to kids. I don't know. I can't speak on that. But yeah, I think overall I agree with you. It's nothing but positive.
Because if you'll notice at the end, he didn't say, I'm a globe earther. His whole thing at the end was, maybe there's no Earth at all. So you see how he just removed himself 100% out of the equation? I thought that was brilliant.
So Eben, I know you've got some comments on this as you made a hour and a half video on it. So responding to the entire video, what did you make of it?
It established itself as a mockumentary around 3 minutes 45 seconds to around, and you kind of confirm it around 6 minutes 15 seconds. And the thing with mockumentaries, I expect comedy. I expect to get some laughs out of it, and I just, every time it tries to be funny, I could see where it was trying to go to be funny. It just didn't make me laugh. And certain elements, like, it brings me back to The Office, the show, and because a lot of it is just someone saying something from the Flat Earth conference, and it just kind of panning to Logan Paul and just the look that he would give. But like, for example, one person was saying, you know, I like to pleasure myself as well, and it pans to Logan Paul and a close-up of his face, and he says, "You mean like masturbation?" But the thing is, the way that The Office would do it is they would just pan to his face and just give that look. The audience can figure it out, like that's implying that, but the person who's saying it is just unaware at all that's what it was implied. So just something like that. And like certain bits, for example, the human-sized penguin, that was set up early on, but three times, four times that it went back to it, it just wasn't funny. um and his crew, it just reminded me of like that was the first Logan Paul video I've ever watched. But his crew, it just felt like a PG-13 version of Jackass with Johnny Knoxville. Some of the slapstick that they try to put in there didn't quite work. Like and have like a deadpan effect, but I don't know. It just for a mockumentary, I was just bored. 15 minutes, it felt like a chore to get through.
Yeah, although this is secondhand, I was chatting to Anthony about it this morning, and he said that he'd been in touch with Dearth, or Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and he said pretty much the same thing, or parroted or repeated Dearth sentiments, which is to say it was painful, and after about 15-20 minutes he just couldn't watch anymore. So yeah, I don't know, it's just not aimed at my age range, you know. Like I say, I'd love to hear like a 15-year-old's opinion on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Paul, did you see it?
No, sorry, I was on a call, but no, I haven't seen it. I was just listening to you guys. So after listening to that, I don't know if I want to see it. I'm not even seen Beyond the Imaginary Curve. I know you've seen that yet. So,
I mean, with there was a dwarf in it, and when I cast my mind back to Jackass, I can't remember anything specific. But if I give you an example of like maybe Wee Man having a target drawn on him and then them throwing like rubber darts at him or something, that would be the kind of thing. Whereas all you got out of Logan Paul was him, like, I think at one stage he snatches a hat off the Flat Earth character and then throws it, and then it cuts to a different scene, and you're like, where's the joke? It's just pulled a hat off his head. You know, it's not Jackass-esque, but it's kind of trying to be, but just failing.
Yeah. Jackass PG-13 version.
Yeah, that makes me not want to like it because I didn't like Jackass to begin with. So.
Like I said,
me
I'm
neither.
sticking my...
Sorry, Slick. Hey, Plain Truth.
I'm sticking my neck out on this one. I thought that was absolute genius. I mean, I'm on record. I am recording this. I am like saying that as time goes on, this is going to be shown to be one of the best things that ever happened.
Maybe. Go ahead, Eben. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just trying to think, James, of your perspective on it, and just kind of how I would have made it better. But it's hard thinking from your perspective on how. I mean, I can understand how it's very neutral appearing, just to get more people to look into flat Earth without totally making flat Earth people seem nutty at all. But I still came away with this. He was depicting people within the flat Earth community within the conference as being nutty. You know, it felt like he was like another analogy would be someone going into a church, like a Baptist church, a Baptist ceremony, and just how and people having him explain, or having people there explain to him the importance of the Baptist ceremony and the whole religious aspect of it, and just
Hey P, how you doing?
Just trying to make it sound like the people who are explaining baptism to be very unhinged and things like that, where it's like kind of, it's to most people there it's just a normal occurrence. But
yeah, I totally agree. That was something else that I noticed, which was to say that at one stage they played a clip where there's a load of flat earthers saying we're not crazy. And you're like, okay, why did that happen exactly? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But the comparison being, you wouldn't round up a congregation of people from a church and then get them to go outside and shout, "We're not crazy," would you? Hey, Brenda.
Yeah.
Hey, physics.
My mic working?
Good day, Nathan.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Brenda.
Hey, Arwin.
Hello.
Good to have you. They've got a couple of Globers on the panel. Did either of you see... Is it just Brenda? I know, P. Mars.
I saw a little bit of Logan Paul's thing, and I'm not surprised.
Is anyone there?
I should watch it.
Can you not hear us, Arwin? Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Can you not hear us, Arwin?
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yes,
I
we
think
can
he
hear
got he got connected to the dark world.
you. Indeed.
Why
Or
can't I
wear
hear you?
black nail polish.
He's in the dark world hangout.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody should be surprised that Logan Paul just used that as an occasion to mock flat earthers. I don't know why you would be surprised.
But do you think it was well done?
Here. I can hear you now.
I don't know entertainment, so I don't know if I can say. I think it's what you would have expected. He built you up, led you along the garden path, and then abandoned you. I don't know why you would think it would be different.
I don't know if anyone was following Logan Paul on the Flat Earth side, but I suppose to rephrase that question slightly, Brenda, did it entertain you?
No.
Fair enough. That's what I thought. It didn't entertain me either. I didn't laugh once, which I was hoping for. You know, I did actually expect it to be a mockumentary, because that's what he does. You know, Mark Sargent's attitude was correct. Is it massively detrimental? I don't think so. Maybe you disagree, but it did make me laugh, which is annoying because it was long.
Well, I think that people will now associate flat earthers with that show, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah. Flat earthers, they're violent, and right? When you confront them, they're violent. That's what happened in the show, right? The flat earther destroyed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that poor blow-up globe.
Yeah, well, that's the message.
Well,
flat earthers are violent.
Well, the twist is that he wasn't a flat earther. It was a joke. So basically, it was a globe earther being violent, acting as a flat earther.
Yeah, people aren't gonna think that far into it. What they saw was a flat earther, and that person was violent.
Yeah. Globe earthers
Keep generalizing, Brenda. Keep generalizing.
No, I'm just saying that's what people are. What's going to be the general populace's takeaway. That's how this stuff works. They don't think deeply about this stuff.
Fair enough. It's your opinion. That's fair enough. Any more?
I'm on record saying...
Sorry, just before we move off the... Sorry, Arwin. Oh, he couldn't hear us, could he? P, what was your take on it? Did you get to watch it?
I haven't watched it. I guess I should watch it, though. Everyone's going to be talking about it. But I guess, I mean, my take would be it's kind of similar to this red pill philosophy guy. There's people on YouTube that are trying to make money and be famous, and they'll latch on to anything that's like sensational or will get clickbait. So a lot of people are here just for sensationalism and attention.
Well, red pill philosophy doesn't make mockumentaries of flat Earth. He presents flat Earth.
Yeah, well, he got famous by saying that it's okay for women to hit men. I mean, men to hit women. Like, he just says things.
Screwing around here.
He just says the red pill philosophy got famous on YouTube for saying things that are sensational and outrageous, and flat Earth would be included in that, right? So that's what a lot of people are doing, I think.
I think Arwen wears black nail polish.
Who cares?
He's just testing to see if he can hear us. Hey, Zinda, how you doing?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Again, red pill philosophy. He doesn't say outlandish things just to be outlandish. He has
he does.
No, he doesn't. Do you watch any of his
He
videos?
absolutely does, dude.
No, there's context behind what he says and how it's interpreted. He doesn't just say it to elicit a response from say the SJW community, there's reasons behind it.
No,
if you want to talk about,
yeah, his reason is MGTOW videos are popular. I better go make a MGTOW video. Oh, flat Earth videos are popular. I'm gonna go make a flat Earth video. You know, whatever genre is hot. Oh, prank videos are popular. I'm gonna go make a prank video.
I can't hear any of you.
Their mentality. You're connected to the dark world, Arwen. You need to connect to the real world.
I think he's got his speakers
Arwen,
turned off.
You're
somehow.
You're in the upside down, Arwen.
And I told you to invite me to your channel too. So this is what happens.
Come back from the further.
Like I said, I'm on record. That was the most awesome documentary. I mean, I was entertained throughout the whole thing. I just thought it was pure genius, pure genius.
The Logan Paul thing, or the other one?
The Logan Paul thing. That was one. I mean, I'm a Logan Paul fan now, for real. This guy just really, I just thought he lit it on fire.
Didn't he make fun of people who suicided themselves in Japan?
Yes.
The forest? Oh god,
yes.
It was tasteless.
Yeah.
I was going to use the suicide forest as a flat Earth proof. Like it's.
But see, when I'm looking
level,
when I'm looking and I'm using my point of view, I'm not looking at a past. I don't judge things on their past or associate them with their past. I'm just looking at that present moment in isolation. I don't want to say, well, he did this in the past, so I'm not going to give him a chance. Now, I don't operate like that.
Sure, fair enough. But I would have to watch the Flat Earth thing. Let's see how much humor it really got.
It didn't seem very humorous to me.
Well, when you think about it, flat Earth is not humorous. Flat Earth it's not a no.
Oh, it's not true.
I know, but let me finish. Flat Earth is not a joke. It's not a game. It's not entertainment. Flat Earth is for real. It's a very real experience. But you guys have never experienced it. That's all.
No. Flat Earth is an unending source of hilarity.
For you.
Yeah.
Right, but not for people that's really seriously into it. It's not hilarious to us because we understand what's going on.
No, you don't.
So you can talk from, in other words, you can tell me what I experience and how it feels and how it works. You know me better than I know myself, which is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just going to shout out Brandon Toy for the super chat. He says, funny how the same flat earthers seem to be at the centre of the hit pieces. I don't care if it's a coincidence or, oh, it's gone into the glare. At this point, sorry, I can't read it. FE is a cottage industry, FFIEC. Sorry, I butchered your comment. Thank you very much for the super chat, though. Thank you very much indeed, Brandon Toy.
Where do Globe people get that ability to know what's in our minds? It seems like that's got to be it's like a mind reading thing. Like you can actually look in another person's mind and know what they're doing and know them better than themselves. That is amazing ability. How do you do that?
It's great, isn't it? Like I tell you how. I usually meditate, right? And then I let my mind free, and then I go into the mind of a flat earther. And then I know what a flat earther thinks, right? That's how you experience flat Earth. In my position, it is really interesting.
Yeah, you got to do some Ayakuza and get in touch with the machine elves.
Yeah.
Ayakuza? Is that like the Yakuza in Japan?
I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. That's that plant drug that gives you
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, yes.
Or Kumchin.
Or Ayakuza will work too.
Ayakuza, Yakuza, it's the same thing.
Yeah, you're Yakuza.
Hey, Brendan, Zender, have you ever thought to yourself that your preconceived notions you might be filtering people through that?
Yes.
What? I didn't understand it, sorry.
Do we filter people through our preconceived notions? Yes.
I think so.
I try to eliminate that, but obviously that's what happens.
It just sounds like to me that Globe people are like really self-righteous. Like you're just, like we own the truth. It's ours. And if you say something different, you are trespassing on the truth because we own it. That's the vibe I get from you guys.
Oh, okay.
I feel like everything you're saying is like James could be applied to people in general, not specifically globe people.
But
you know, when you talk about globe people, you have to keep in mind that that's like almost the entire world, right? So you can't generalize it that hard, right?
I mean, that's a brilliant statement. So it's basically everybody, but just don't generalize. What, like you just did in that same breath, Cinder?
How did I generalize it?
What, the whole world thinks it, do they? You speak for the whole world, do you? Or is that just a massive generalization?
Well, show me how many people believe in the flat earth and how many people
I have no clue. I wouldn't presume to generalize so broadly, Cinder. But you tell us again how we shouldn't do that, because it's amusing.
Well, you can generalize by measuring. There's only a few thousand people that are flat earthers, right? It's a very small number of larger audience.
Show us the statistical study that's been done to give you that number.
Well, you could just do a Google AdSense search, right?
Let's see it.
But just Google it. Go to Google Trends.
This is what you do. Sorry, Brenda. When you make a sweeping generalization like that and then tell me to go and Google it to back your assertion, that becomes frustrating. So don't reverse the burden of proof. Just show me the document that you got that statistic from, or accept that you've just made it up on the spot like most statistics.
It's called Google Trends. Just search flat earth, and the results you get will only be a few thousand searches. So that's a very small number compared to the overall.
Sorry, so would you say that correlation is a definitive number for how many people are into flat earth, would you say?
I think it is a reasonable assumption.
Oh, right. I don't care about your assumptions. Not really that interested. I'd prefer the actual statistical analysis of the people quizzed specifically about that. But you don't have that. You just have a generalization and assumption based on a search for trending searches on an internet.
Yes.
Right. Well, that doesn't sound very conclusive.
That's reasonable. That's how marketing
maybe to you.
is done.
Maybe to you it's reasonable. Maybe
if you just don't understand how it works, because all flat earthers here, everyone searched on Google and YouTube for flat earth. That's how people became flat earther. Or those are just tribes in the jungle who think the earth is flat because they don't know anything else, right?
Would that be you, when you say right at the end, you're asking me to affirm your sweeping generalization and assumptions, and I'm going to say, no, not right, just your general assumptions, the thing that you've told us literally 2 minutes ago not to do. But you keep doing it, it's really amusing.
No, that's what the trend tells us. That's what Google tells us, how many people search for what. And that's how many people search for flat earth. People who search for flat earth aren't necessarily flat earthers, right?
Oh,
but
so everybody searches, do they? Everybody's got internet and everyone searches for flat earth if they believe the earth is flat. You know that for a fact, do you, Cinder? Or would it just be another sweeping generalization that you assume everybody who's looking for flat earth searches it on Google, and therefore those statistics represent everybody? Okay, mate.
Most of the world
has
internet.
Another sweeping generalization.
Oh, no, most of the world doesn't have internet. No, sure. Look at China, dude. China has like 1 billion people, and almost everyone has internet there.
How many times have you been to China?
The whole Western world has internet.
Hold on. Don't just scattergun. How many times have you been to China?
Oh my god. Are you for real?
That's your I've been to China. I've been to China. I've got a vague idea of what it's like in China. I'm just asking, have you got the vaguest idea what it's like in China? As you're now telling me what people in China think, I'm just wondering whether or not you've been there. Have you?
Have you ever been to
don't save him, Brenda. Let's just
photographs.
Brenda,
right?
there's no need to save Cinder. I'm just going to keep drawing out the fact that he makes these sweeping generalizations to my amusement. You don't have to rescue him. This is only being done for my amusement. There's nothing really at stake here other than Cinder looking a bit silly by telling us not to generalize and then doing it about 5 times in a row.
Friends have been to China, Nathan, and in China, almost everybody has a smartphone. That's a fact.
Almost everybody? Is that another sweeping generalization?
That's actually not
almost everybody. 1 million people. Did you say you have been to China? So you've surveyed all of them about their mobile phone usage, have you? Or would that be yet another sweeping generalization?
You asked if I've been to...
Shout out to Del West Watson for the super chat. Much appreciated. Really, really appreciate your support. Thank you very much indeed.
Everybody is not a sweeping generalization. Nathan doesn't know what logical fallacies even are.
Like, I feel like it's really hard for some people to understand context, usually, especially here. But this was just a generalization.
Was that Brenda telling me what I do and don't know again? Did you do this in the comments yesterday, Brenda? Tell people what I do and don't know. You seem to have gone quiet, Brenda.
I like to ask Zinder a question whenever Brenda doesn't answer.
Yeah, Paul.
Does the Chinese government censor the internet?
Yes, they do.
So would they be able to look up flat Earth?
Yes, they would be able to look up flat Earth.
Have you done that search? Have you done that search in China?
No, but they would be able because there is no reason to censor flat Earth.
How do you know that then?
We can't even know if China exists.
Yeah, sure, it doesn't.
I've been there.
Like
I know
Australia.
It exists. I can confirm the existence of China. Thank you, Brenda, for your introduction.
How do you know? How do you know it was China? You've been
by the Chinese people and Chinese food.
How do you know those were Chinese? How do you know anything? I mean, how do you even know that the plane brought you to the right place?
You and Brenda are an adorable couple right now.
That's really cute. Descend it into we don't know anything because of your sweeping generalizations. Wow, Zinder, nice tactic.
No, that's your
You're right.
statement.
No, I'll concede, Zinder. This is such a good argument. You know what? You're right. We could all just be a brain in a jar. Well done. Yeah. Great win. Great win.
I know. Thank you very much.
Kudos, Cinder.
You my point.
Tell me more about what people in China think. Tell me how many of them have got mobile phones again. And then tell me that we shouldn't generalise, because that'll really amuse me.
I said almost.
Almost all. So you've surveyed almost all Chinamen. Well done, Zinder. Well done.
You know, China is a country that is developing really fast. And what we see in the Western world, that people have smartphones. And in China, those smartphones get produced so cheaply, and so many of those get produced, that it is logical that almost everyone there has smartphones. That's called logic, Nathan. That's something you should learn at some point in your life.
All right. I can tell you from personal experience that that's not true.
All right. When have you been in China?
Yeah. So the older generations in China don't tend to keep mobile phones. The younger generations definitely do, but the older generations tend to be a bit more old-fashioned with their tea and things. And yeah, mobiles don't appeal to that generation so much in China. Have you been to China? Did you say, Zinder?
No, I said friends have been to China.
So you haven't been to China. So I'm going to tell you from personal experience that you're wrong and you're sweeping generalizations. What I'm doing now is pulling down my pants and taking a big shit on your sweeping generalizations from personal experience, Zinder.
All right, how many people, how many young people live there, how many middle-aged people live there, and how many old people live there? If I say almost everyone has internet access, that means that almost everyone is around 70% plus, right?
17%? Where did you get that statistic from?
I don't know, just
made it up on the spot.
Plus.
Just made it up on the spot. So 17 sounded like it was quite an accurate statistic. So
17.
Why 17? Why did you make that particular?
17.
Why did you make up that particular percentage? Because it sounded like it was an accurate number that came from a source. Why 17%? Why did you make up that number?
I said 70, not 17.
Oh, 70%. Well, why did you make up that number?
I don't know. I just pulled it out of my ass.
Yeah, I know.
I just guessed how many old people there are, how many middle-aged people there are, and how many young people there are. And then I can guess how many young and middle-aged people have a smartphone, how many old people have a smartphone, and then I can go up with a guess.
I'll tell you what then. Let's hear your guess. Then I'll guess completely differently and tell you that you're wrong, just based purely on my guess, because it has the same validity.
All right.
No, that would be pointless, Cinder. That would be sarcasm. That would be ridiculous. Just your guesswork. That was kind of the point. Isn't that kind of the point of you telling us not to generalise at the beginning of this conversation?
Go on, make your guess.
No, I'm kind of pointing out that you told us at the beginning of this conversation that we shouldn't generalise. So now I've got hold of that and focused on it just to humiliate you for my amusement.
I said you shouldn't generalise almost the entire world. Not you shouldn't generalize like how many people plus minus have a smartphone. That's about behavior, as said. You don't get the context.
Yeah, I don't get the context. Now I do, though. It's not okay to generalize about the entirety of the plane, but we're okay to generalize about every Chinaman there is. Okay, that seems clear now. I've got it now. Thank you.
Of the plane, what a joke. Doesn't matter.
Well, that was fun.
Sure. Go on.
Can I make a shout out to Arwen's rectangular Fruit Loop?
Can you hear us, Arwen?
I can only hear you through YouTube.
Well, damn it.
Oh,
I just found an article.
Well, I can solve that. So just ever check the cog settings in the Hangout. Just wave your mouse over and go to the cog, and then check your sound settings. It'll take
specifically the speaker. What your speakers
already did that. Didn't do anything.
Okay, Nathan.
Hey,
as of I just Googled it, right? I just Googled it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. As of November 2018, about 1.5 billion mobile phone subscriptions have been registered in China. That's more than the population. So people have obviously more phones, right? So here you have it. A lot of people in China have mobile phones. So make your guess, please.
Actually, I got an article that says only about 80 million people in China, which is about 57% of the population, have access to the internet. I've got it up on now if you can see it.
Okay. Type in China mobile phone subscription.
So they can't even use it in half the country. That's priceless, Cinder.
1.57 billion mobile phone subscriptions.
Did you guys hear me? Can you see
I've got you presented.
This is from Forbes magazine.
Hilarious.
This is actually August 23rd, 2018, so it's not too long ago.
Yeah. So that's still most of the people. 74%, 57. Even if that's true, like 57% is still most of the people.
Well, I'd say it's more like half.
Most. Can you even do math? Is 57% half, Nathan? What's half of 100, Nathan?
Oh, God. The central point here is that we shouldn't make sweeping generalizations. You've made a shitload.
Saying mostly isn't a sweeping generalization.
Most people. You don't think that's a sweeping generalization?
No, it isn't.
In general, we shouldn't generalize.
In general, we shouldn't generally generalize, I would say, P.
Unless you can generalize if you have
in general.
For instance, if you have evidence that most people use a smartphone, then you can say most people. And that's not a sweeping generalization. A sweeping generalization would be, I saw a few people using cell phones, therefore all people in China use cell phones. That would be a sweeping generalization.
Have you been to China, Brenda?
What?
Have you been to China?
That was an example. No, I haven't been.
So you have no idea what, from experience, what the usage of mobile phones is like in China then?
I didn't make that claim. That was an example.
Okay, this is really fascinating. Arwen, how you doing?
Arwen, are you here?
I can still hear any of you. I thought some shit.
Arwen, little man.
It's gonna be one of those days.
It's really freaking weird.
Oh, I looked up what most means, and it actually says the majority or nearly all of. So I don't think 57% would fall in the majority or nearly all of. I don't think it would fall in that category.
I didn't say the majority.
Well, actually, 50%, 57% would be a majority.
You know, I think Brenda's
anything
Brenda's
over
40% correct. The other half, he's wrong.
No, anything over 50% is a majority.
I've got the definition pulled up on my screen, and I've got it highlighted. The majority of or nearly all of. I don't think 57% is nearly all of.
Yeah, it is.
90.
Anything over 50% is a majority. If you get
Tell me
50%
that is a
of the
Sorry,
votes,
that's not what it says. Sorry, just to interrupt.
If you get 50%
Sorry to
of the
interrupt.
votes,
It says.
you've gotten a majority
Sorry,
of the votes.
it's not what it says. Just stop making stuff up.
you're
When there's a
just wrong.
citation on screen, shut up and let me read it.
Wrong.
It says the majority of, nearly all of. Then it says synonyms: nearly all, almost all, the greatest quantity, part, number, the majority, the bulk. Yeah? Well, these aren't saying a bit more than half, are they?
If I get 51% of the votes, if a politician gets 51% of the votes, he has a majority.
Oh, so that would be a political majority then?
That's what majority means.
Oh, right. What about the word most?
Anything
Yeah,
over.
sorry, I don't
50%
think I heard the word
majority.
majority being discussed. You've just brought it up now. So we're saying most of the people in China have got mobile phones. There's the definition of most.
Right. And
Right.
if
So let's not worry about the
51%
definition of a political majority or minority or any other word. Let's worry about most.
Yeah. So if you have 51%, and you know this for a fact, 51% of the people in China have cell phones, then you can say a majority of the people in China have cell phones.
But they don't.
That's what a majority means. Anything
Well, that's
over
lovely.
50%.
That wasn't what was stated, though, was it?
You said majority. A majority is anything over 50%.
No, that's not
The
what
greater
Zinda said.
number.
Oh, Zinda, did you say a majority or did you say most?
Well, most means majority, since we have looked it up,
You've
right? So
inserted that word
majority,
now.
the
I'm pretty
greater
certain that the
number-
word used was most. Was it not? Was I wrong? Will we have to go and check this on a recording to make sure that you
Majority-
did say most of the people in China? Am I wrong about that? Are we
greater
actually
number-
talking about a different word, like Brenda seems to be alluding?
The greater number. Most means majority. Majority
So we are
means the greater
talking about
number.
most. Sorry, thank you, Zinda. Brenda, we're definitely talking about the word most.
Yeah, and a synonym for most is what? A majority, isn't it? You read off.
Sorry, it's got synonyms on screen. Maybe you'd like to read them for us, Brenda, because it does actually have synonyms listed on this citation.
Look, most greatest.
Hold
in
on,
amount
Zinda.
or degree.
Zinda! Brenda, maybe you would like to, rather than make them up, read the synonyms that are on screen.
Yeah, it says nearly all, almost all.
Sorry, nearly all, almost all. So not 51% then. So when you made that shit up, you were wrong.
The majority, it says...
Sorry, we're not talking about the word majority. We're talking about most. You said
in the list.
synonyms are majority. Yeah? Well, one of them is in there. The majority, the bulk of. But first synonym on the list, nearly all. Then it says almost all.
So you've been shown twice. This is what you do, is you double down on your insanity. The majority is actually in the list of synonyms. That's what we're talking about.
No, we're not talking about the synonyms. It's one of the synonyms for most.
Yes.
One of.
Yes.
That doesn't mean most means the majority. It's one of its synonyms.
That's what synonym means.
Look up the definition of cinnamon.
You're gonna need a mediator here, Nathan, real fast, because you're gonna need a mediator in a second because your head's gonna explode. So let's end this right here because this is just going round and round.
Well,
because
everybody take a Yakuza pill, please. Just take a Yakuza pill.
Yes.
Let's talk about something else.
Nathan doubles down when he's shown to be wrong.
That's right. Now let's talk about something. Please, let's talk about something else now. We beat this to death. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's
Maybe
move
we
on
should
from.
call somebody in China and see if they got proof of a globe over there.
And we could call them on their cell phone, couldn't we?
Yeah. Well, I kind of like it that Nathan's breaking Brenda's balls.
We could just call a Chinese restaurant.
Okay, so let's move on from that one because
Chinese fire drill.
I'm sure we're boring. The audience has had enough of that. Let's move on, guys. Come on.
Oh no, this is entertaining.
No,
this is
really
what
funny.
Flat Earth
Like,
is entertaining for.
Brenda's in it.
Okay, my sound is being extremely weird. From within the panel, I can sometimes hear you guys, then sometimes everybody, there's not coming any sound through, and I can never hear Nathan a single time. So I only hear half conversations. This is so weird.
Yeah,
Never
you're
seen anything like this.
You're in the dark. You're in the dark web. You're in the dark
Nathan,
web.
let me be the first to say I understand why you flip now. Now I totally get it. I understand because that kind of stuff would drive a person up a tree when you hear that over and over and over again. I can totally relate to it. I am so sorry if I ever knocked you for not flipping on these people because this is ridiculous.
I got any topic we could talk about?
Go ahead.
The conspiracy cats last night, that was pretty hilarious. I listened to that on Anthony's show.
Yeah, Nathan could only talk when he was interrupting people.
No, it was the other way around.
Actually, that's what happened. That's what happened. Nathan would be quiet. Brandon? Yeah, Nathan would be quiet for a while, and then conspiracy cats would say, "Oh, well, he's not talking, so I'll talk." And then Nathan would interrupt him, and then complain about being interrupted.
So you're interrupting Nathan? Why?
I mean, I thought Nathan was trying to give him pause because I think Nathan knew that if he waited long enough, he would say something. And exactly within just a couple of seconds, conspiracy cats would say something.
Yeah, because nobody was talking.
And Anthony said it. He said, "You just be quiet. Let dead air just be dead air for a while." But conspiracy cats couldn't do it.
But there was dead air. He did let there be a dead air.
2 seconds, 1 second.
Yeah. So what?
That's not so.
There was dead air. Conspiracy cats would talk. Nathan would interrupt him, and then complain about being interrupted.
Nathan, what's your perspective? What did you feel?
Maybe you can give us a timestamp where that happened, Brenda.
We can't even know. We can't even know if that hangout happened. Nobody was there. We can't know.
There.
So that was my take. Did you hear?
Let me give you. Can I get a perspective on that from the outside because I saw something. What happened was
shout out to Hitchhiker.
Right, thank you. So what happened was conspiracy cats came on and he immediately started blaming Nathan about abusing Channel Q. Now, if you take a step back, Channel Q was abusing Nathan when he was trying to have a productive conversation. But what they did was they clipped out a little small part of that to make it seem like Nathan was the bad guy, and they jumped on it and tried to run with it. Now, that's what I saw.
Yeah, that's Channel Q spanked Nathan hard. I hope you enjoyed it.
Nathan got really bitch made here. I have seen the 40
Brenda,
minutes.
You like it when Nathan gets spanked? What kind of porn are you into?
We all know.
Channel
Hello, guys,
Q
by
was
the way.
total.
I'm
Channel Q
joining
was
through
totally.
Skype.
I'm sorry.
He was there.
We hear you now, Arwin. Can you hear us?
What are you talking about, my girl?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what the freaking hell is going on, but like the Google back panel was acting so weird. I've never seen anything like people would randomly just turn off in their sound and turn on again, but I would never hear you, Nathan, a single time in the entire conversation. Never seen anything like this.
Very weird. Hey, Anon, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello, good to have you.
Thanks.
And then what make it so bad, I am actually watching some people like Tim Osman put these clips up. But when you look at them, you can see that Nathan is having a conversation. He's talking about gas pressure, and he's just having a conversation. And then you got Channel Q in the background. Pressure! Pressure! I mean, she was just sounding ridiculous. And then Conspiracy Cats comes on and berates Nathan for being hard on Channel Q when she was the one that initiated the whole thing.
Well, she has a good point, though, right? Because the pressure gradient refutes the second law of thermodynamics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No,
but
there was a demonstration presented to them.
I'm sorry.
So there was a video presentation.
The pressure gradient, the fact that the density of the atmosphere is denser at sea level and it's thin at say on a mountain. That's a pressure gradient, and that gradient refutes the second law of thermodynamics, doesn't it?
Yes, that's... Sorry, Brenda. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I've now heard you say that twice, and I'll repeat what I said. Let's see if you address it. They literally played the video demonstration I directed them to, which was by Good Times for All, of a pressure gradient in a container.
But that refutes the second law of thermodynamics, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. What? Sorry. What is the second law of thermodynamics as you've just quoted it?
It's that the availability of energy to do work in a system, a closed system, will decrease.
Is running out. Yeah, very succinctly put. Well done. So can you now explain, given that description, how Zach's demonstration of a gas pressure gradient in a container violates that law?
I haven't seen his video, but given his past and his inability to understand even like 8th grade physics, I doubt he does anything like what you claim he does.
Sorry, I didn't ask you to describe. Sorry, have you finished?
No, we're talking about.
Have you finished? Can I respond? I'm seeking an answer in the affirmative, Brenda.
What?
Can I respond?
I haven't seen Dr. Zach's video.
No, I heard you. I don't need you to repeat it. Yeah, I'm now going to address it. I asked how that violates the second law, as you just stated. Not a question of Zach's credibility, not whether or not you've watched the video, specifically what you claimed, that a gas pressure gradient violates the second law. You've described quite succinctly. Okay. When I asked for permission, what I was saying was, shut up, Brenda, I'm now going to talk. Don't repeat the same stuff. Don't say yes as I talk. Shut up, listen, and then back your claim with evidence. Your claim being that a pressure gradient violates the second law of thermodynamics. Now, explain and back with evidence that assertion.
Oh, it's the first law of gases. That's why.
Sorry, the first law of gas pressure? What the hell is that?
Well, it says that the gas will expand to fill the available container.
Oh, really? That would be our argument for why you can't have a vacuum, because the available space would be the vacuum, wouldn't it? And the gas would fill that space as you just described.
I'm doing an internal critique of your system. Your claim is that the atmosphere exists within a container. That's why we have gas pressure.
Sorry, no. Sorry, don't misrepresent. Sorry, I haven't made a claim. You declared that a pressure gradient violates the second law of thermodynamics. The same exact nonsense stated by Channel Q. Now I want you to back that claim, because you seem to think that Channel Q pummeled me with that specific claim by rumpusing the shit out of me and not letting me answer. So now I'm going to let you answer by explaining how a pressure gradient violates the second law.
Right, because there would be available energy to do work, and in a sealed container, right, with a uniform gas pressure in there, there's no energy available to do work.
Sorry, there's not a uniformed pressure. There's a gradient. So clearly you don't understand the question. Do you need me to repeat it? Or are you just going to talk over while I point out that you have misunderstood? Not a uniform pressure in a container, the antecedent needed to have gas pressure, but a gradiated pressure.
Right, a gradiated pressure, air pressure, can't exist in a sealed container.
It does. It is demonstrated by Good Times for All. It absolutely can happen, has been demonstrated, and does not in any way alter the necessary antecedent to have gas pressure in the first instance. That would be a container. So Zach's demonstration took place in a container, and he needed that container in order to achieve a higher state of gas pressure. Now, if you believe that which has been demonstrated is actually a violation of the second law of thermodynamics, as Q asserted, then tell me how. Because so far you've said, well, because there's a work available to be done, that violates it. Well, no, it doesn't, Brenda.
So I haven't seen Zach's video, so
I didn't ask that. I asked how a pressure gradient violates the second law of thermodynamics as stated by you.
Oh, that's simple, right? Because there's work available
Yes, I heard your first explanation. Work available. Yes, that's not a violation of the second law. Now explain how it violates the second law.
It's just a straight up violation, right?
No, there's not.
Yeah, in a sealed container with a gas, right? The gas will expand to fill up the entire container, and the entropy will go down. There will be no more. There will be no more gradient, with which one could do work.
So that's not a violation of the second law.
So if there's a gradient pressure within a pressurized sealed container, as you claim, then that's a violation.
No, just saying it's a violation doesn't explain how it violates the second law.
Because the second law states that you can't have it.
No, it doesn't.
It's there.
The available energy will decrease. You will reach equilibrium. That doesn't somehow get defied by a pressure gradient in a container. There's no violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Then none.
Absolutely, it is. The
Explain
second law
how.
says the gas pressure will reach an equilibrium. The gas pressure is not at an equilibrium. That's a violation of the second law.
So if the gas hasn't got equilibrium, it's violating the second law.
Yes.
And what is equilibrium?
Equal pressure throughout the entire container.
Okay. And do we have here on Earth equal pressure?
No.
Okay. So where's the equilibrium?
It isn't. Is it?
So it's not a violation of the second law to have a gradient then. Sorry, Brenda. So we actually have it all around us. So that would very easily demonstrate that gradiated pressure does not violate the second law then, because we have it. We can definitely experience. There's no violation in having a gradient, as you've asserted incorrectly.
Affirming the consequence.
The fact that yes, he's affirming the consequence, yes.
Oh, go on, explain how.
Well, you take the atmosphere as an example. So, no, the pressure gradient, you violates the second law of thermodynamics. You take the atmosphere as an example in which we live in. That's why it's affirming the consequence.
No, affirming the consequence is if P, then Q, Q, therefore P.
All right, then show me the container. First,
no,
show me the container. Then you can say that we live in a container.
No. Explain how I've affirmed the consequent. Formulate what I said into if P, then Q, Q, therefore P. That's what you've charged me with. So now I stopped the conversation with Brenda, brought it over to you because you said I'd affirm the consequent. Now, you're going to tell me how, by formulating what I said into that logical fallacy. Go.
All right, you said, if gas pressure, if pressure gradient, then container, then pressure gradient. So
that's absolutely correct. Yes, that's correct.
All right, then
that's not that's not a necessary antecedent then. So you're saying that you can have gas pressure without that necessary antecedent.
You have to show me a pressure gradient of the same composition of the gas in a container, and then it is evident.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yes. I've said that. I've said that 4 times. Good times for all. Zachary Sabala. Have you gone and watched that while we were chatting with Brenda?
With the same gas composition?
Yeah.
The same gas composition?
Yes.
Not different gases?
Yeah. So
okay,
have you gone and watched it? Or not?
No.
Oh, so I've said it to Channel Q. I've said it to you. I've said it to Brenda. Yes, we can absolutely demonstrate this. Definitely not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. What would be a violation is if we had gas pressure, which we absolutely definitely do, and that gas pressure is trying to reach an equilibrium, which is, as Brenda put it, to fill the available space, the container available to it. And we've got a massive amount of space, i.e. a sky vacuum, then the gas would try and reach equilibrium by dispersing into the vacuum. This is why we can't have a sky vacuum, because that is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics, to assert that somehow the gas pressure does not disperse into that vacuum. That's a violation of the second law, not gas pressure gradients in a container. That's perfectly acceptable and well within the second law of thermodynamics.
That's
all right. So he took a container and filled it with air, and then you could see the container from 14
sorry,
PSI.
Sorry, this was the conversation I was having with Brenda. I'm still waiting for you to formulate what I said into a logical fallacy, or rescind your comment and just admit that you were just being a complete arse and wrong when you charged me with affirming the consequent. So unless you can formulate that into if P then Q, Q therefore P, I want you to rescind that, and then I'll move back over to Brenda.
I'm going to finish my sentence before you interrupted me.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you because you've charged me with a fallacy that I've not committed. So until that gets dealt with, you're not going to be doing a damn thing, Zinder. And you know what you can do? You can do like Conspiracy Cats yesterday and run away if you don't like this. Because I will hold you to account for you charging me with affirming the consequent when I've not.
I will answer first what I wanted to say, and then I'm going ahead. Is that alright? Or are you going to talk over me again?
No, I'm waiting for you to confirm your accusation that I've affirmed the consequent by formulating what I said into the fallacy that you've accused me of using. If you can't do that, you either concede that you were wrong and just decided to accuse me of a logical fallacy when you didn't even know what the fallacy was, or you can actually formulate it correctly, and then I'll have to concede, won't I, Zinder? I'll be in the wrong, won't I?
Alright, I'm going to finish what I wanted to say before you interrupted me. So, he took a container and showed...
I'm not interested in having this conversation. It's not going to fly when you accuse me of stuff I've not done, Zinder. What an absolute bloody outrage. So, no, Zinder, you don't just get to carry on the conversation when you've accused me of something I've not done. That's an outrage.
I told you it before, and now I'm going to finish my sentence.
Oh, really? Well, in the meantime, I'm going to tell the audience that Zinder is a bank robber. I suggest that we all call the police on Zinder, because I'm going to accuse him of something he's not done, and I'm absolutely not going to rescind it, because I'm absolutely just correct. Let's move on with the debate, with everyone firm in the knowledge that we should all be calling the police because Zinder's a bank robber. That okay by you, Zinder? I'll just lay that charge at you, and then we'll move on with the debate. You being a bank robber and all. You being a criminal that needs to be arrested for your bank robbery. Because you can just lay charges at people, can't you, Zinder? Like you've done.
I'm going to finish my sentence.
No, you're not. You're going to rescind that I've used a logical fallacy because you've accused me of it incorrectly. That's what you're going to do. You're going to grow a pair of balls and accept your mistake, or confirm it by formulating it into the fallacy you've accused me of. That's what you're going to do. And I'm going to keep you here indefinitely until you do. And if you just keep saying, well, no, I want to carry on with the debate, and just ignore the fact that I've lied, made up a load of crap I don't understand, and accused you of it, yeah, I understand that fallacy and spot it when it's used. I then formulate it back into the fallacy and repeat it back to the person that's used it. You, a dumbass, have accused me of it, and you don't even know what the fallacy is. So until you understand that fallacy, or demonstrate that I've actually used it, we're going to stay right where we are, Zinder. We're not moving on. You don't just get to accuse me of shit that I've not done, Zinder. No, sorry.
I won't stop my sentence only because a stupid retard talked over me. So I'm going to finish it, and then...
No, you think you're going to carry on the debate? No, Zinder, did you not listen to what I just said?
So when you talk over me, I get muted, so...
no, I'm not using any mute buttons, Zinder. No. That's not what's happening. I am demanding that your lie about me, which is what I'm now going to label it because you seem to be defending it and obfuscating it, your lie will not fly. So, no, Zinder, we're not going to just move past it until you accept it. Your lie that you told about me, your incorrect assertion, the stuff you made up. You don't just get to do that about me, Zinder. Yeah? Like Conspiracy Cats misquoting me. When I quote someone, I put it in quotes, yeah? And it means precisely what was said, because it's in quotes. I don't do what Conspiracy Cats does and just make up a quote and lay that charge at my door, or claim that I've cried like he did, yeah? That's what he does. Liars. Cheats. Yeah, you. So don't lie about me and then expect to just get away with it. Either back up your claim, or admit you lie.
The next sentence that will come out of my mouth will be the sentence I wanted to make before you interrupted me. If you interrupt me again, we can play the game forever. Alright.
Will it be about this logical fallacy you've accused me of?
It will be what I wanted to say before a stupid retard interrupted me.
Will it be about the logical fallacy you have incorrectly accused me of, or not?
It will be about the pressure gradient.
Will it be about the logical fallacy you accuse me of?
It will go there.
It will be about if P then Q, Q therefore P, formulated with my words. Yes?
I told you the fallacy before with the pressure gradient. Like, did you even listen? Like 20 minutes ago before you started rumbling again.
So you're making it seem like this is going to be a formulated logical fallacy that you've accused me of. Okay, no worries, go.
Alright, I finished what I wanted to say before. So, he took a container. Obviously, he had to take a container and make the same
No,
pressure
this is you
gradient
carrying
as
on the
in
debate.
atmosphere.
Right, I'm going to eject you. You sack of garbage. So, you are just going to carry on the debate. You've lied again. So this isn't if P then Q, Q therefore P, what you've accused me of, a logical fallacy known as affirming the consequent, formulated with my words. You're just going to continue the debate, Cinder. You're garbage. You're a garbage person. You are a disgrace.
I haven't lied, Nathan.
You're garbage.
I said I'm going to continue with.
No, you're not.
What
I'm going to
I
eject
wanted
you.
to say
This is your last
before
chance.
you interrupt
No,
me.
I will eject you. This will be your last opportunity. Then I'll end the live show and ask everyone to stay on board if they're in the Nathan Oakley stream. But this is your last opportunity. Either you will say, no, I was wrong. You didn't affirm the consequent. Or you'll say, no, I'm right. Here's how you did it. If you don't do one of those two things, I'll eject you. Then I'll end the live show.
All right, I'm going to say what I wanted to say before you interrupted me again, because I don't let myself interrupt from a stupid retard like you.
Kick him.
So he built a container with the pressure gradient of the atmosphere. That's pretty much your claim. So you said that the atmosphere pressure gradient doesn't violate the second law of thermodynamics, right? And then you said, as proof, we have the atmosphere. That's a fallacy.
Yeah, that's affirming the consequent.
So let's hear it formulated. If P then Q, what's if P?
All right, if pressure gradient, therefore container. So
that's
what
correct.
you say is that every container has a pressure gradient.
Sorry, that's a...
Everyone.
Sorry, that's a consequent antecedent relationship. That's correct. Yes. If P, then Q. Yes, that's absolutely correct to assert. You cannot have a gas pressure without a container.
Oh, pressure gradient.
And then you affirm the
yes. Let me...
by
Sorry,
declaring-
Brenda. Yes, that's correct. Either pressure or pressure gradient both have the same antecedent, which would be a container. Correct.
No, you said every container has a pressure gradient. That's
No,
what you said.
that's not what I said.
You said you took the atmosphere as an example.
No.
And you don't know
That's an
if the
example of a
atmosphere-
pressure gradient. Yes, that's...
You said we have a pressure gradient.
We do. That's correct
Therefore-
also.
Therefore, that doesn't violate the second law. That's affirming the consequent.
Sorry, it doesn't violate the second law. Because if it violated the second law, then it wouldn't be occurring. It does, because it doesn't violate that natural law. If it did, it wouldn't be occurring, or it wouldn't be a natural law anymore, because something would be violating it. So I absolutely assure you that having a gas pressure gradient does not, as Channel Q and the retard known as Brenda seem to assert it does. It's not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. You're just both retards. And yes, Cinder, the necessary antecedent to have gas pressure, or indeed a gas pressure gradient, will always be a container. That is a necessary antecedent for the pressure.
Having a pressure gradient is a violation of the second law. We have a pressure gradient. Therefore, the second law is violated.
So you think that that natural law isn't a natural law? My God, you are quite literally stupid. You think that by looking outside and experiencing gas pressure, that that's a violation of a natural law that absolutely holds true. My God, go to MIT. tell them that, my God, I've been outside, you know what, we've got a pressure gradient. Why have we got this natural law taught in all of these universities? This pressure gradient violates it. My God, you're so dumb. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And with that, I will say, if you're watching in the Nathan Oakley premiering audience, then stay tuned, as there will be a short after show to follow. However, if you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley 1980 live stream, then unfortunately this is where we bid you farewell. A massive, huge, enormous thank you to all who shared, subscribed and hit the super chat. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!